Hi everybody, Jen Haron here. I did a Periscope a few days ago where I compared the two pieces of software that have been gaining a lot of buzz among LuLaRoe consultants recently, and those were the platforms called WhatDidISell and Leafy. So they both do similar things, but there are some differences between the two, and I did a whole Periscope talking about those differences, and I actually had one of the developers' wives in on the scope. She is a consultant, and she was able to answer a bunch of questions, and it was awesome, and I was really excited to put it up here on YouTube. But like I might have mentioned in another video of mine, for some reason Periscope and I are not best friends right now with the settings regarding recording my scopes. So I need to get on top of figuring out another solution. I need to look at Catch Me and some of the other options. But for now, I'm going to kind of redo the information that I shared in that Periscope video with you guys. And I think this will actually work out really well because I'll be able to screen share with you here and kind of let you follow along easier than if you were watching me hold my phone up to the screen on Periscope. So we're going to talk a little bit about the two platforms, WhatDidISell and Leafy. And I'm not going to do tutorials on both of them because I will actually be linking to the YouTube tutorial videos for each one of those platforms right down below here in the information section under this video. So when you're done watching the video, if you're interested in checking out either one of those pieces of software, go ahead and click on the links to the tutorials, and those are really great tools to help walk you through all the ins and outs of how they work. But today I just want to kind of show you some features and benefits of each of them and maybe hopefully help you decide which one might work best for you. So before we even get started at looking at the two of them, I did create a small little comparison chart to kind of show you the similarities and differences between the two across areas that might be important to our business as a LuLaRoe consultant. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick and kind of show you guys what we're looking at here. So you can kind of browse through this yourself. I won't go line by line with it. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up just a little so you can see better. Perfect. So you'll see that first column there is Leafy. The second column is WhatDidISell. And then off to the left of the columns, you'll see different categories that I lined out for everybody. So of course, cost is always one of the first questions. How much does it cost? Is it going to be worth my time and my money investment? So you can see there, Leafy costs $4.99 a month. It comes out to just under $60 a year. And they do a monthly subscription only. And then WhatDidISell offers you a monthly subscription or a one-time yearly subscription where you just pay everything up front and you get that subscription for the whole year. So if you're doing monthly subscription with WhatDidISell, it would be $7.99 a month, or you can pay $60 flat rate for the year and have access to it all year. So if you do the yearly cost with WhatDidISell, it actually balances out to be about the same as Leafy. So those are, of course, that's a big factor there. And then there's also the trial factor. So WhatDidISell comes with a 7-day trial. Leafy comes with a 30-day trial. Either way, I think you would be fine. I think 7 days is plenty of time to give a try to a piece of software like what we're going to be looking at. My recommendation would be, if you're familiar with what this software does, my recommendation would be to actually wait until the day before one of your Facebook sales and sign up for both platforms at the same time. And then after your Facebook sale, you can actually run a report from both platforms and see which one you like better. That way you kind of get to try both of them out. It doesn't cost you anything, and then you can decide which one worked better for you, and then you can just cancel the other one and keep going with the one that you're willing to pay for. So a couple of other notes here. You can kind of take a peek for yourself here on the screen, of course, but very similar support options there with Facebook groups and email support, as well as YouTube tutorials, which I mentioned I'll be linking to below this video. There's thumbnail pictures of everything that you sell in both platforms, and those thumbnails actually link back to the original Facebook post for each item, so that's really cool. You can search personal inventory and run reports for personal inventory even when you're selling in a multi-consultant sell in a group. So if you're in a larger multi-consultant group that has, lots of different consultants posting their items for sale, you can actually program these to only generate a report for the items that you posted in that group and you sold in that group, which I think is super beneficial for us. So there's a couple of other things in here. The way you access the group is a little, or the way you access your information through these platforms works a little differently. When we do the demos of each, you'll see that with Leafy Peach, you just copy and paste your group URL into their website and generate the report that way. With What Did I Sell, you add in a few extra pieces of information because there are a couple of extra options there. So you need to add in a few extra pieces of information, and then same thing, it'll generate that report for you. And then something that's kind of interesting to me, does the platform track your sales as your sale is going along, right? So it's not something that's necessary. Audrey tracks all of our sales for us as we invoice and bill out our customers and they pay. So we don't necessarily need to track our sales. However, it is a nice little confidence booster when you're selling in a Facebook sale and let's say it's 24 hours and 8 hours in you want to see how close to your goal you are. It's nice to have a quick way to kind of look at that amount to goal and say, okay, if everyone pays their invoices, here's how much I've sold so far. So that's kind of fun, and that's something that Leafy Peach offers, and I'll show you a little bit about how that works in a minute. What Did I Sell currently does not have that on their platform. Maybe it's something they'll add in the future. I'm not entirely sure. But hopefully this chart, I will just leave it up here for just a second in case there's any information you want to kind of write down or screenshot. If you're watching this on your mobile device or if you know how to screenshot on your computer, you can do that as well. But lots of really good information. So just a short little compare and contrast between the two platforms. Okay, so now I want to actually go over and do a demo of both platforms. So here's kind of how I did that. If you're familiar with me from Periscope or from these YouTube videos, you know that I am still a consultant in the queue, so I'm a QB, and that means that I don't have my inventory yet. So I had to kind of do a workaround to create this demo for you guys, and this is what I did. If you're also a QB, somebody waiting in the queue, I would highly recommend doing this to kind of try out a lot of things so that you get a feel for things before you go live. So I created, let me shrink this down here, I created a private Facebook group. I set the settings to private, not just a closed group, but a private group, so that nobody can even see this pop up when they're searching for groups or anything like that. So this is a private group that only I have access to. Well, me and my husband and one of my Lula sisters, Danielle Allen, because they've been graciously helping me run some trial and error stuff on my page, on my group. But other than that, nobody has access to the group. And so I can change anything I want in here. If I wanted to change this banner up here, I could do that. If I wanted to change, you know, the name of the group, if I wanted to, you know, add and take away different pictures or anything like that, I could really play around with it as much as I want, and it doesn't affect, you know, what anyone else sees. So I did that, and I set up for this particular demo. If I go to my photos here, I actually set up some albums. So I'm going to click here on my albums. So I have a Cassie skirt album and a Madison skirt album. Now, I don't have my inventory, as I mentioned, so for my Cassie skirt album, I actually just used my sweet little puppy, Daisy May. Some of you may know her from my Periscope broadcasts. So I used Daisy. Of course, I have lots of pictures of her, so she is going to be my little guinea pig for this trial. So I loaded a bunch of pictures of her into my group, into my album here, so that I could comment on a few of the pictures as if I'm a buyer buying things in this group. So this is my inventory here, and I've left some comments under, oops, sorry about that. I've left some comments under some of the pictures of my inventory that say sold, just as we would do in an actual Facebook sale, right? So we'll be able to use that as our kind of our baseline to run reports through both platforms and see how that works out. So let's go ahead and look at the platforms real quick and see what it looks like. So this is the What Did I Sell platform. So here with What Did I Sell, you have, this is your main page. Now on the tutorial, if you click on that link below, you'll actually get walked through how to sign up for the program and all of that. So I'm going to skip over all of that. But on your main page, you have this group, or I'm sorry, let me actually go to my account up here. I'd already clicked through something, so I'm going to go to my account page. You have a couple of different options. So one of the differences between What Did I Sell and Leafy Peach is Leafy Peach does work solely in Facebook groups, which is how LuLaRoe consultants typically do their Facebook sales, is in groups. What Did I Sell offers report generation from groups, which you'll see here, sales using group albums. It also works from sales using events or if you're hosting a giveaway. So there are a couple of different options there to use. So we're going to go into the link that says sales using group albums. And we're going to look at a couple of options. So this is that little form that I mentioned you would have to fill out in order to generate a report with What Did I Sell? And one of the first thing it asks for is to enter the group ID or select from above. So these links right here, when you connect your Facebook profile to What Did I Sell, it automatically searches your profile and it pulls up any groups that you are an admin in. So whether that's a group that you started yourself, so of course you're the administrator of that group, or if it's a group that you did not start but you're a part of, and whoever is in charge of that group has also designated you as an admin of that group. So a lot of times that will be, let's say you're doing a multi-consultant sale, the owner of that group will go ahead and make you an admin for the duration of the sale so that you can post all of your albums and things like that. So if you are an admin of a group, you'll actually see a link to that group right up here, and you can automatically, instead of having to find the group ID, you can just click on the group that you're interested in making a report for, and when you click it, you'll see there it is. The group ID generates automatically for you, so that's handy. Okay, so now that you have the group ID, there's a couple of other pieces you might fill out. We're going to skip over some of that because you'll learn about that in the tutorial. But one thing that you have an option to do here is to choose the word or phrase that you want your customers to use when they're purchasing from you. So typically that word is sold, right? So that's what most of us would be using. But you could choose anything you want, and as long as you enter it in here and tell your customers that that's the word you need them to comment with in order to purchase something on your sale, then it'll run the report based off of that word. So we're going to type in the word sold here because that's the word that I used. And let's see here. There's a couple of options here. You can choose to search only the first matches, so that would be the first sold comment under each item. If you leave it unchecked, what will happen is it will actually run the report based off of however many comments with the word sold are under that item. So if multiple people comment sold, whether they just say sold or whether they say sold next or sold pending question, however many sold comments there are, this will generate a report for all of those, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But if you're only wanting to look at a report for people who commented sold first on the item, then you would click here under first match only, and that would run that for you. And then this is the button you would use for multi-consultant sales. So search only my pictures in a sale. Okay, so we're going to leave those blank for now because they don't apply to this demo, and we're going to submit. Now, one thing to keep in mind with What Did I Sell is if you're not careful, you'll miss where it actually generates a report. So that's going to be right underneath where you put in all that information. And you can't see it on the main screen at first, so it's important for you to just scroll down a little bit and then you'll see that report generated down below. So here is what was sold at my Facebook sale. Okay, so Jennifer Haron, that's me, but for these purposes, that is my buyer. So Jennifer Haron purchased all of these items that we see here. Now you'll notice that they're listed kind of, the way this report will run under What Did I Sell is everything that Jennifer Haron purchases will be grouped together one right after the other in the report. So you'll see Jennifer's name several times according to how many items she purchased, and then next to her name will be the thumbnail of the item she purchased, the comment date, and what she actually wrote, so what she commented, whether it's sold pending question, so that you can see that on your report. If you're running your report throughout the course of your sale, if you see, let's say, sold pending this question, and you want to go ahead and jump back and answer that, you could actually just click right here on the thumbnail, and it will link you right back to that original post, which is handy. Another thing you'll notice here is the little comment number here. So comment number 1 means that this person was the first person to comment sold under this particular item, right? So let's scroll down a little bit, and then you'll notice this is number 2 right here. So comment number 2 means that Jennifer was the second person to comment sold under this item. So basically, let's say the first person to comment sold here backs out and says, never mind, I don't want it. Then this report will generate for you and show you that, hey, the first person backed out, but you might reach out to Jennifer to see if she's still interested in purchasing, and that way you can add that to her invoice. So it's super handy that way as well. Okay, so that's what the report looks like. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I wanted to show you guys, kind of show you an idea of what it looks like on the back end, so you have an idea. And then we're going to look at Leafy Peach as well and see the similarities and differences between the two of them. Okay, so let's go over to Leafy Peach. So here's Leafy Peach. Okay, so again, I've already signed up for Leafy Peach, so I'm not going to walk you through that process, but that will be part of the tutorial that's linked below this video. So we're going to go into my account. Okay, so my account will have my dashboard. You can also get to it right up here under my dashboard. So we're going to go to my dashboard to get started. Now I actually already ran this report, but I'm going to show you exactly how you would run it. So there's this green box up here and it says enter your Facebook group URL. So what you would do is you would just go right over to your Facebook group. You would highlight the URL for your Facebook group and you would copy that. And then once you have that copied, you would just jump right over back to Leafy Peach, click in the little green box, paste the URL, and then right here off to the side is a search button. When you search, it's going to generate a report, and it'll say, 1 moment please, we're generating your report. Don't keep clicking that search button. If you have a large sale, it's going to take, maybe a few minutes to finish the report. Just be patient with it, let it do its thing, and it will create the report for you. But don't get too anxious and keep clicking this button because if anything, that's going to freeze up the report and then you might have to start over again. So just give it a few minutes. Okay, so now that our report is ready, here's what it's going to look like. So one thing you'll notice right off the bat, this is Jennifer Haron, the buyer, and this is everything Jennifer Haron purchased right across from her name, right? So it kind of groups everything together for you as opposed to listing it out vertically like one thing under another. So you can see Jennifer Haron, the number of items that Jennifer purchased. So Jennifer purchased 4 items, the amount of money that she owes for the items that she purchased, right? So these are the 4 items that Jennifer commented sold on first. But Jennifer also commented sold second under an item. So we can go right up here to show hide columns, and this actually lets you customize a lot of things here. So you can, right now you have these columns that are checked, and that's what you're seeing over here. But you could actually, if you didn't want to see the quantity of items that Jennifer purchased, you could uncheck that. If you didn't want to see the amount of money due by that purchaser, you can uncheck that. But let's go down to this last one that says items of interest. So when you click items of interest, that is going to generate this little box over to the right-hand side of Jennifer's row. These are the items of interest to Jennifer. So if somebody backs out of something and you say, oh, well, I think somebody else might have commented on that, you can actually choose to show the items of interest under each person as well, so you kind of have an idea of who might be wanting to claim that second as well. And again, just like on What Did I Sell, you can click on any one of these thumbnails to link back to that original post on Facebook. Another thing that I think is super handy is you have this option of looking at your inventory as well. So under my Cassie skirt album, I posted 66 pictures, so 66 pieces of inventory. 3 of those pieces of inventory were sold, which leaves me with 63 pieces unsold in that category. So this is a really great way to kind of get an idea of your inventory in that sale and kind of track it as it goes along as well. So we'll go back to my sales. Perfect. Okay. So now we're looking at this. We can also go up here and I'll show you a couple of other things here. You can show cart comments. So you can actually, click on that to show what the person commented on each of those items. So A would be the first thing, B would be the second thing, C, D. And again, if this says sold pending, question or whatever, you can click back to it and answer that question for the customer, which is super handy. So you can choose to leave that checked or unchecked. You can show cart details. This one's really cool and helpful. If they purchased a lot of items across multiple different, like a lot of pieces across multiple different categories, you can have a breakdown of that as well. So instead of just seeing the thumbnail, if you can't really tell by looking at the thumbnail, like, oh, what item is that? Is that a Cassie skirt or a Madison skirt, what did they purchase there? You can actually break it down here. It'll show you line by line each item, what the name of that, what album that item is in, and how much that item is. And let me show you guys real quick. I'm going to jump back to my Facebook page and show you how to get it to actually show you the dollar amount of the items and the amount purchased. So under the albums here, so let me go back to my photos and my albums. So you'll notice here, my albums are labeled with the dollar amount in the title of the album. So that's really important if you're using Leafy Peach and you do want to track dollar sales during your sale, to make sure that the dollar amount is listed in the title of that album. So you'll see Cassie skirt here, and then I have a little dash and $35. Make sure the dollar sign is in front and not behind the dollar amount. So as long as you label it with the dollar amount, you don't even have to do it exactly in the format that I used, but as long as the dollar amount is in there somewhere in the title of that album, then Leafy Peach will go ahead and track those sales for you throughout your sale. Okay, so you also have features over here to print, so you can print items in cart. Checking this box will just create a printer-friendly mode. You can copy the information to paste into like a spreadsheet of some sort. You can also just hit this CSV here, and it will copy it into like spreadsheet format and just paste it right into like Excel. Actually, my leader, so my sponsor who sponsored me, my Lula Mama, Fern Bourrier, has used this, and she just mentioned in a scope the other day that it was super helpful and it saved her so much time. So this entire platform, whether it's Leafy Peach or WhatDidISell, they're really created to save us time after our Facebook sales are over in trying to figure out all of our inventory and trying to pick all of our items. It really streamlines the process of gathering all of the information you need to finish up your sale and get all of your shipments out to your customers. So here's just a little backstory between both platforms. Both of those websites were created by software developers whose wives are LuLaRoe consultants, so that's super cool. So both hubbies, really great guys, saw that their wives were struggling with how much time it took after a Facebook sale to get everything together and ship it out. And they said, you know what, both of them in totally separate instances said, you know what, I think I can figure this out, a better way for you to do this, and I'll create something for you. So they created these different platforms, and now they've launched them, and they're available to us to use. So there are some great pros and cons for both of them. I personally really love Leafy Peach just because of the view of it, like the way it generates the view of everything. And I also like having these options to kind of customize what I'm looking at when I'm generating my report. But I think there are pros and cons to both, and I think both platforms can definitely be useful to you in your business. Again, I'm going to be linking tutorials down in the bottom of this in the little details box below the video here. I hope this has been helpful just to give you a quick little bird's eye view of how each platform works and to help you decide what might work best for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below this video, or you can find me over on Facebook at Jennifer Haron. That's my regular profile page. I will soon be launching my LuLaRoe Facebook group on Facebook, but it's not quite ready yet. So I know I kind of showed you guys a sneak peek into that when we were doing this demo, but I will not be accepting any members there just yet. Feel free to request to join that group, though. I don't mind that at all. I would be honored if you requested to join my VIP group, and then when it's up and running, I will definitely accept your request, and you'll be a member in there as well. Yeah, so any questions, feel free to reach out to me on here or on Facebook, or you can catch me in my Periscopes. I do Periscope Tech Talks for LuLaRoe consultants and small business owners, just to help give us a little bit of insight into how we can use technology to benefit our business. So you can find me on Periscope at Jen Loves LuLaRoe. So Jen Loves LuLaRoe, all one word. You can find me over there as well. Hope this was helpful to you guys. Leave a thumbs up for me if it was. Leave some comments, questions, concerns. I'll be happy to answer those and respond. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and good luck out there in Lula World.